All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eduardo Borges, and I'm the Director of Business and Entrepreneur Engagement for the Better Business Bureau. I get an opportunity to oversee all of our efforts in Maricopa County and Northern Arizona and support all of our services, innovation, entrepreneurship across California. Recently, we just merged with Fresno, so we're really excited to now have additional campuses. We are not necessarily in the community, but we're always part of the community. And I think events such as this and education forums such as this is very important. We have campuses in Prescott, Lake Havasu, Yuma, Orange County, Newport. We also have in San Diego and then in Fresno. So welcome. I know we have some folks across from San Diego as well. So thank you so much. Some housekeeping for our online individuals. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. We're going to be reviewing those. But we do have a small group. It's a very intimate group. And purposely, we wanted to make sure that we provide this type of micro education opportunity so that we are able to interact with our subject matter expert. So with that, please help me welcome Mari Rábago, who is our Grow with Google coach. And I will let her provide some background, very impressive, but most importantly, a good amiga of mine. So thank you so much, Mari, for being here. Yes.
Thank you for having me here. Hi, everyone. Well, I'm very, very excited to be here with you guys. And this is one of the topics that is very close to my heart. Build your professional brand. Believe it or not, whether you see it or not, you are aware or not, all of us, we're constantly building a professional brand. So we got to be intentional in order to build the right type of brand for ourselves. Regardless of what do we do. So I'm going to start by asking you guys, whoever is in virtual situation right now, to put in the chat what type of business you are in, what kind of services you provide, products you sell, or if you're working for an entity, organization, or corporation, please go ahead and add that information there. So just to give you a little bit of information, my background. And please don't start counting with your fingers at years because you're gonna need more fingers on that. I've been in the media, traditional media. I was a news anchor with Univision for 15 years locally, about 3 in California, altogether 20 years in the media. 2013, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I've been owner of a marketing agency, Mari Rábago Productions, for the last 11 years. Time flies when you're having fun. And my passion is to educate my community with products and service that enhance their daily life. That is my journalism with the purpose that I do now. So I don't do the late breaking news or nothing like that, but I bring resources to my community in Spanish and English in a cultural way where I can really connect them with the service providers or the products that really would enhance their daily life. That's my passion. And last 4 years, I've been a digital coach with Google. Why? Grow with Google is the program that I represent. Well, like I mentioned, I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years. Otro gallo me cantara, for those that speak Spanish and you understand that part. If I wouldn't known or I would have had all the knowledge of the tools that Google provide us free as entrepreneurs in so many ways. So that's why I had trained over 2,500 entrepreneurs. At the moment, I know the number is bigger, but I don't have the official numbers and I love what I do. And we do it hybrid, like we're doing it here. I can see your faces. We can have this intimate conversation, virtual. And it's an opportunity to allow others that are in the same path as I am as an entrepreneur to grow their brand, to grow their business and connect with the right target market or the right audience, the right clients for them. So in a nutshell, and I love social media. That's where I live. So please look me up at Mari Rábago IC, all platforms. You find me there, follow me, take a picture, let me know that you were in the class today, and also follow in Instagram Digital Coach Program, which is that program that I'm representing with Grow with Google. That's all the information. Also my email, if I can be of service, please make sure you take a snapshot of that and you can save it and connect with me. I would love to repost your post on any of the platforms, and that's the way that we grow, right? So this is the agenda for today, and I don't like to be the talking head. So I know you guys that are virtual, I put in questions and answers, questions and comments on the chat. I'm gonna be looking at the chat so I can answer any of your questions. And those are you that are present here. Well, I would love to, raise your hand, pause, because I like conversations. That's the way we grow, right? So this is the agenda for today. What's a brand? How a brand can grow your career, your profession, your business. Define your brand, build your online presence. If one thing we learned after COVID or the initial pandemic in 2020 is that if you don't have presence online as a business, as a professional, you don't exist, right? And the type of opportunities are very narrow. So that's why we have to be very intentional with what kind of presence, what kind of brand we're building online and growing your network, which you guys are already doing. You're here so connected in so many ways with the BBB. And this is a great place to be to grow your connections, okay? Any questions so far? Are we doing good? I'm gonna ask you to think about a company, any brand. I mean, could be Nike, Chanel for the ladies, Coach, it could be GNC, could be Ford, just a brand. Think about a brand. Everyone that is a virtual too, please go ahead and just think about a brand, one that it's one of your favorites that you like. Everybody there? Okay, think about that company. And I'm gonna ask Ariana, what company was it? Nike, okay, just do it, the little palomita, right? The little, so what kind of feelings do you associate with Nike?
A go-getter, someone that's always on the move,
Go-getter,
athletic.
okay. And is Nike a company for everyone? Can anyone, babies, grandparents, middle-aged women like myself, teenagers, can anybody relate or benefit from the products and services of Nike? Yes. Who is the ideal customer then you would say for Nike?
An athlete, maybe anybody that likes to wear sportswear.
Workout,
Workout.
comfortable?
Yeah.
I was wearing my Nike Air Force on a event that I was emceeing the other day, and I loved it. I didn't have to wear the heels, and I was very comfortable. It made me empowered, it made me feel good, and I was still dressed professional with, a jacket, jeans, and it looked cool. Is that in thing, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing it in aspects. So even in the professional world, people, if you see a lot of the newscasters or the sportscasters, you see them dress up really nice with Nike jeans, right? That's usually their choice. Okay, well, anybody can use that. What sets Nike apart from Adidas? Can you tell me?
Me, I mean, kind of just what we're going over as far as like branding, like their own personal branding is just better
Yes.
in general.
Branding, okay, more popular, more chic, more in fashion, more comfortable maybe, or sometimes they're not that comfortable, but it's cool to wear them, right?
They probably have better, like for instance, like Michael Jordan made Nike huge, so they just have better,
Branding,
spokespeople.
okay, I'm glad. I said, keep up the conversation. How does their advertising make you feel when you see an ad from Nike?
Performance. I mean,
Performance.
it's kind of, it's a higher end tennis shoe, right? So
Okay.
to me, it's
But what kind of feelings? Do you see a commercial, you want to put your Nikes on and start running and start getting in shape? Or what kind of feeling do you guys get when you see that, a commercial
like
from them?
inspiration.
Inspiration,
Like,
okay.
yeah, make it happen.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Go
Let's
get
do
her,
it.
like you mentioned, yeah, let's do it,
Let's
right? Beautiful. Listen to those things, the slogans,
Mhm.
part of the branding. How do they maintain consistency in their advertising? Do you see consistency if you see a graphic commercial, like if you go into a store and they have like a big billboard or something like that, or a display there, where you also see that on TV or the movies, they come up with one of those little slides. Is there consistency in their branding?
Yeah, it's like an action shot.
Action
It's an
shot
action
all the
shot.
time.
Something's
So
happening.
you hear the words that I am bringing to the conversation, right? Consistency is one of them. So a lot of those big companies, those big brands will hire big marketing companies. Hopefully it'll be mine, right? In that aspect. Most of us don't have the funds, the money, or the time to invest that kind of resources to create. But without you guys knowing, you guys are building your brand. When I worked with Univision for that many years, I didn't realize that I didn't only have the big old logo behind me. I was creating my own personal brand in that time. I wanted to be consistent, trustworthy, reliable, meaning that people can come to me, talk to me, I feel comfortable approaching me. And I was part of the community I was serving. Were four of the aspects that was very important for me when I was creating my personal brand without me knowing. You know how I learned about that? Because I had consistency in those four areas. So I ask you guys, what is it one thing that distinguish each one of you guys? Write it down because we're gonna be doing some exercises. The more you participate, the more active you are, the more you're gonna get out of this workshop, I promise you. So what's a professional brand? Well, your unique combination of qualities, skills, and experience. Like I mentioned to you, I, in a nutshell, gave you, I'm a journalist by trade, over 30 years in the media. Last 11 years, I've been an entrepreneur like you, a theater coach with Google, but most of all, I'm part of my community. Is there consistency in services that you see in my branding? Always serving the community, right? And in different areas. Okay, strong branding is helpful for everyone, but even more closer to start a business or become a freelancer. You told me you were a professional coach, speaker. So what type of speaker do you want to be recognized as? What's your niche? What sets you apart from all of us that are do speaking, public speaking or speaking engagements or coaching or trainings?
I'm a behavioral superpower speaker.
Okay, I love it. So she has it to the T, and that is important. All of you guys here participating, those of you that will be seeing this in the social media later, this video, so important that you do the exercise because by the end of this conversation, you're gonna define your personal brand and you know what areas you need to focus to build it and grow it. So that is very important. The more you participate, the more you're gonna get. So think about a public figure at this point. It could be a singer, actor, a politician, and we're close to the election. Who wants to go? How about you?
Public speaker, can it be a musician, you
It
said?
could be a musician, yeah.
Okay.
Any public figure that you admire.
Let's see, that I admire, I would say probably one of my favorite artists right now. Oh man, put me on the spot. I have many different ones. Okay, there's this author, Miguel Don.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
Los Cuatro Acuerdos, one of my
Yeah,
favorites. To
exactly.
see we connected. Okay, so when you think about Don Miguel Ruiz, the Four Agreements, he's the writer of the Four Agreements, Cultura Tolteca.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
qualities do Don Miguel Ruiz possess? Is he a
Yes.
wise?
Yeah,
Wisdom.
wisdom and peace and just tranquility in terms of whenever I read a book, I can receive so much from one page and I think that in its own is.
Is
power
he a
to speak
teacher
well.
by nature? He
Yeah.
likes to teach?
Mhm.
What else?
He's he could be a mentor for some people.
Who's the ideal client for Don Miguel Ruiz?
Somebody who wants to learn and wants to empower themselves.
Self-development?
Mhm.
Okay, what else? What's the target audience? So you could be defined as, you know, the ideal client. What's the target audience? Meaning that on not only one person, what do you have in common with other people that create the audience that would be the target audience for him?
I think learning these tools and resources to not only help myself, but help my family and those that I love the most, because with this book, I've handed out so many other books and copies that
I have given hundreds of
Exactly,
copies,
right?
yes.
It's so easy for me to share and it's such a practical book. I think just those who
Easy to read.
not only want to self-develop themselves, but also share the love
You
and.
just said it, anybody in self-development. Okay, that's the target audience. So we're seeing that what we're doing, right? So what sets apart of Don Miguel Ruiz and let's say Tony Robbins?
I would say the cultural side of it, the Toltec wisdom and just how it deeply roots with some
Okay,
qualities.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know everybody joining right now, everybody listening, everybody watching this video are hopefully doing the same kind of exercise we're doing. Because exactly what we're doing here with Don Miguel Ruiz with Nike, guess what? people around you, people you encounter, people you engage with are going to do about your own personal brand. So that's what's so important. How do they maintain the brand consistency? So let's say, Ronald Reagan, what was his consistency in the brand? What was he known for as a politician, not only as the actor of the early ages, times of his age or his years? Who could say, what was the one thing that Ronald Reagan was known for? He was a Republican, but always trying to do bipartisan initiatives, right? So a lot of people remember him from that. So maybe that was the consistency that he had as a politician, right? He was very faithful to his beliefs, his values, but also he would, stretch out the other side of the aisle in order to bring some consensus. So think about those things, okay? When it comes to your own brand. So your brand should be reflected in everything you do. I don't know if you see the color I'm wearing right now. If you see in your Google, my logo, Mari Rabago Productions, you see that I'm always dressed in very bright colors. Yesterday I had the royal blue, I wear a lot of red. My jewelry is always combined, the gold and the silver looking. So subliminal, I'm always wearing my brand. And that to me is very important. If you see people that speak for Coca-Cola, when they're on stage, they're gonna be wearing white and red, a lot of that. So think about that, because your brand should be reflected in every single thing you do. Your resume, your social media post, my slogans, journalism with a purpose, other slogans that I have for my speaking engagements, for, the type of, we are the bridge to the Latino by Empower with my company. They're all over my posts. In social media, in my website, it goes into my media kit, it goes into my resume, and every opportunity I have to talk about who I am, what do I do, guess what? I use the same thing. So that's the consistency you should be thinking about yourself. What sets you apart? The network conversations, whether it's in an elevator, that you encounter somebody, the typical, what do you do for a living, right? Or you're in a network event, a lot of them here at BBB, be prepared with that. And that's what you're going to get if you don't have it by the end of today's workshop. 3 steps to building your brand. Okay, you guys are ready? I hope you're taking a lot of notes. Define your brand. It is so important to give definition, to understand what is it that people should know about yourself. When somebody asks, who are you and what do you do for a living? Well, my name is Mari Rabago, journalist by trade, and my passion is to educate and inform my community about products and services that enhance their daily life. In a nutshell, I already told them what my passion is, why I do what I do, who am I, and what service I can provide them. You see that? I'm connecting, I'm becoming that the bridge, between the corporations, the businesses, and the Latino buying power. So think about how can you create something that reflects your own personal brand in that aspect. So brand statement, be 1 or 2 sentences. Let someone get to know you in those 2 sentences. And you notice that I only said 2 sentences right now, right? When I talk to you about myself. Tell your career, educational history. I told you that I was a journalist by trade, right? Communicate key information. So, and this could be modified depending on your audience. If you are with a future employer, obviously you're gonna highlight a lot of your qualities that you know that they're looking for in the employee that they're trying to hire. If you're a company providing service or products, you are going to highlight the type of product or service in your list of services or products that are part of what that company is looking for, right? So you would adjust and modify depending on your audience. That is very important for you to learn how to read your audience. I'm sure you have heard that term before, right? Okay, your career story starts at the beginning. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And what you have to offer. So if in my audience is a group of women entrepreneurs, most of them from different ethnicities, I would say that I am an immigrant. They can tell by my accent, right? I'm an immigrant. a journalist turned entrepreneur, and I'm a single mother with 2 boys. I have 4 points of contact with my audience there. Because of the statistics, I know that most likely a lot of the women in that audience are gonna be single moms, because I know that their backgrounds are different ethnicity, they're gonna be immigrants. And I know they're there because it's a workshop or it's a convention, a conference that has to do with entrepreneurship. So you see how I can connect with them. Very important for you guys to do the same thing. Where are you coming from and what do you have to offer? Always have the value proposition. What are you offering as a business owner, as a professional offering your services in that aspect? It's very important. Yes, go ahead.
Marty, this is really great. I love the fact about starting with the brand. You know, I think as small business owners, and I include myself, we want to sell, right? I got food, I want to sell food. But with your experience, do you feel that if we focus on the sale, it becomes transactional? I almost feel like what you're teaching us is relationship, build a relationship so that they will want to buy.
I had a mentor that it was so wise. And one of the biggest things I learned from him was this: people would buy from you why you do what you do, not the product or service you're offering. I'm gonna say that again.
Yes.
People would buy from you because of why you do what you do, not the type or quality of product or service you're doing. So when I told you my professional brand statement and I told you that my passion is to educate my community about products and service that enhance their daily life. I told you why I do what I do, because I am part of that community. I was a new immigrant. My family is an immigrant family. I can relate with so many lack of education in my community about products and service that we need at home, like any other family, whether it's the school system, the health services, financial services, you name it, right? So that's why I do what I do, because I am part of that community that needs the same education that I'm providing, that I wish in that early 8 stages of us as immigrants, I had that kind of education. So you notice why it's so important for you to share what you do. Why are you this type of speaker? Why, how do you ended up being there? What is your purpose? What is your why of you do what you do? It's so important. So thank you for that question. Definitely, yes.
Thank you.
It's so important because you're establishing your brand statement, you are connecting, but again, you're not selling, you're building relations. And I'll be honest with you, in my business, I don't market my service and products. Have you ever seen anything that I market? Everything comes by referrals about the type of service that I provide to my clients, the type of work I do in my community, the causes that are so close to my heart that I get involved with them and give back. And I share my story, because your story has power. Tu historia tiene poder. That's one of my biggest slogans, because the more you share what you do, the more people are gonna want to do business with you, are gonna want to buy your products and your service. So here are a few questions. What led you to become interested in the type of work do you do? So what do you do for a living?
I do insurance.
Insurance. Why do you do insurance?
Well, it first started off just as a lucrative career, but after some education, I realized that there's a lot of bad miseducation and misrepresentation in this industry, and I would love to be a part of that change and shift to properly educate, especially my community.
You can say that everybody in all households need some type of insurance. And before choosing one, you need the education. So you can say the passion is that you want to educate about that subject. Perfect. So what or who influenced you in that path?
It was one of my clients, actually, that I used to work at Louis Vuitton, and he was my fragrance client, and he encouraged me.
I'm going to find my purse. We have the same dishes.
Yeah, and he encouraged me several times to join that industry because of owning your own business felt so powerful for him, and he wanted to empower me as well.
If there's one thing that you can accomplish with what you're doing and your purpose, what would that be?
I think just financial freedom. It's the start. being smart with how you allocate your money. I think financial freedom starts it.
The next question is, what is one important problem or issue you would like to improve or address? But you already answered me that. You said educate my clients about this subject. What is the first big step that you like to take toward growing or becoming that financial freedom person through the work that you do?
I would say the first big step, which is, I mean, a march, is really getting out into my community like this and just informing, educating and seizing opportunity when it arises.
Do you guys saw what I did? Instead of just reading the questions and telling you, and I hope you're taking snaps, you know, and pictures of this, because I want you to do this as I did with, your name again?
Alex.
Alex. Put this in practice. The more you do this exercise, the more you internal question yourself, the more you're gonna become so clear about your brand statement. What kind of brand you want to build for yourself, for your company, for your organization. So the more you practice, the more you active in this conversation, the more you're gonna take out of it. So these are some of the work activities. I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds. You gotta write really quick. And I want you to make a list, at least 10 qualities, skills or activities you possess, 10 of them. 10 things that qualities, skills or activities that you possess. I know I cannot sing for my life, so that would not be in the list. I had to settle for talking instead of singing, as I tell my family, because my grandma used to sing beautiful. 10 quality skills or activities that you're good at that you possess, 10 of them. Those joining us virtual, I hope you're doing the exercise too, because this is going to be key to building your professional brand. Rebranding one, if you already had one, and you're going into another field. I went to school for counting, ended up being a journalist and now an entrepreneur. See how you have to reinvent yourself constantly? Few more seconds. We have 10, right? So I'm gonna ask you to circle the 3 top skills, qualities, or characteristics or activities that define you. The top ones. Like I said, I cannot sing, so that would not be in my list. What are you good at? What are the qualities you have? Are you trustworthy? Are you consistent? Are you reliable? Are you a fixer? Not the best quality to have, let me tell you. We're good? Okay, for purpose of time, sir, your name?
Jesus.
Jesus, can you read us the 3 top qualities that you found in your list?
I put a listener, good at explaining complex concepts and a good communicator.
Communication and listening, man, you're in that a few top people that are good at listening, and that definitely is a must. So when Jesus tell us those 3 qualities, what kind of roles or positions, if we were the ones making decisions in a big corporation, that Jesus would be good for? Do you think any manager should be a good listener? Any leader? How about communication? Definitely, so it's very important. Think about a little bit about the 3 qualities or skills or characteristics that you highlighted from yourself. Do they define you? If I go and talk to your coworkers or your peers or your employees or your family members, would they say you have those qualities? Okay, so that's part of your branding. That's part of your personal brand. And it's not only your personal life, but you carry that to your professional life too. And it's important, remember that word that you've been hearing a lot from my words around here? Consistency. Just like we talked about the Nike consistency and all the marketing pieces that they do, you have to apply that to everything you do. Your career story, your goals, your qualities and skills in 1 or 2 sentences. Yes, sir?
Well, just a quick question. In terms of consistency, since you've been at it for such a long time, how have you seen your consistency change or pivot to where you have to adapt to a different sort of consistency?
I joke with my followers on social media saying that the only master's degree that I want is la maestría en el arte de reinventarme. I want the master's degree in the art of reinventing myself. So we face situations in personal life. There's a divorce. Is there like immigrants are like myself that, you know, have to leave everything and move to another country? It work related. I was a journalist in the, you know, traditional media for over 20 years. And then I decided to turn that into my passion that I had all these years to educate the community. And I transform it into journalism with a purpose, which is what I do, educating the community. So the consistency in that, it doesn't matter. Remember what I just told you? I went to school for accounting, ended up being a journalist, turned entrepreneur. So what is the consistent about those 3 areas of the changes in my life? First of all, the passion I have, the service that I always wanted to give, and the way I communicate with my community. Whether I was reading the news, very serious in a, you know, in a suit, or I was in the supermarket with a chongo and carrying the card, people can approach me. So you have to have consistency also in the behavior that you have. Remember, I told you about the colors that I dress. Everything in your life has to have that kind of consistency when it comes to the branding. So remember, we said your career story, your brand statement has to be 1 to 2 sentences. So I would love you to combine this, your career story, your goal, and the 3 qualities that you circle in the list into a brand statement. Okay, so the first step is to communicate your brand. Remember that you said, and this is going to be changing. The time that we have right now is not enough. I want you to actually write it down so you can perfect it. You can modify it as you keep practicing with this. Mine has evolved depending on, you know, where my career is taking me, what my goals are. And remember, know your audience, because you may have different type of brand statements that has some kind of consistency, but your target audience is going to be different. So that's the qualities that you're going to be highlighting in there. Okay. So in 2 sentences, tell me your career story, your passion, your qualities. What are your goals? You're going to keep refining this. Remember, it's going to keep evolving. While you're writing, I'm going to be mentioning mine so you understand a little bit of what you're doing. My name is Mari Rábago. I'm a journalist by trade turned entrepreneur. My passion is to educate my community about products and services that enhance the daily life. I have a duality. I educate corporations, businesses, and organizations about how to reach the Latino buying power. And I educate my community about products and services that enhance their daily life. I gave you 2 or 3 different brand statements depending on who I'm speaking to. You're going to be refining your career story as mine, as I've been sharing, it's the way it has been changed and modified. And we constantly evolve as human beings, right? In our professional lives, and we have to reinvent ourselves in many, many situations. Sir in the green shirt, what is your name?
Me? Justin.
Justin. So if I ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself.
You want me to do my little sentence?
Yes.
I was working on it, but my name is Justin Allen. I'm owner of Allen Medical and Professional Staffing. It's a IT and medical staffing firm here in the Phoenix Metro. I'm from Illinois, small Midwest town. Come from a family where I was a single mother who was a nurse who raised me. And I was the only minority in my town. So when I moved here, I had a strong passion for helping others out and helping other people feel like their authentic selves. So being in talent acquisition for 10 years, I decided to open up my own company. My company focuses on diversity and inclusion and helping become, I want to become the biggest Black-owned business within staffing in the Phoenix Metro.
Beautiful. too long though, right?
Correct, yeah.
So this is why this exercise is gonna help. You have the right concept, you have the right idea, you need to condense that.
Mhm.
Not in bullet points, because remember, when we're gonna be sharing our brand statement, it's gonna be conversational. And you need to connect with the audience. So you mentioned that you were raised by a single mom. So if you were in the audience and I am giving a speech to a group of entrepreneurs and I tell them who I am, I'm an immigrant, I'm a journalist, I'm a single mom, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna get your attention because I'm gonna connect with you. You know what you went through as a son of a single mom, blah, 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 right? And in so many ways. So remember that, know your audience in your brand statement. Could have variations depending on who you're gonna be sharing, but the consistency of the core, which you told me your passion, why your goal is in your history. You just need to work on it to condense it and have it more straightforward. But good job, thank you. Thank you for participating. So now that you have defined your brand, you have incorporated your life story, your professional. Now I want you to be able to use this brand statement in every conversation you have. Remember what we say about consistency? So having it on your social media, on your website, on your resume, any printed materials, any opportunity. Do you write blogs? Well, very important for you to share that. And it could be not all one sentence, but it could be like in the conversation. What did I do at the beginning when I introduced myself to yourself? When I told you who I was, where I've been, where I'm going, and why I do what I do. Remember, people would buy, you can take anything from this along with the brand statement that you're gonna have for yourself. People would buy what you offer, products or service, because of the why you do what you do. Make sure your story is always conveyed in the brand statement you offer, okay? Building your online presence. Who has social media? LinkedIn, especially if you are in the professional, you must have LinkedIn. So it's very different what I share on LinkedIn than what I'm gonna be sharing on Instagram, on TikTok, or on Facebook, right? All those posts are gonna have consistency. They're gonna have my statements, my brand statements in it. It's gonna have my slogans. Even when I'm showcasing that I was an event, if I was the MC, if my company was doing the production, if we are doing the marketing for this organization, it's going to have a piece of why I do, why I do. Consistency, building that online presence is a must. Everything you do online, as one of my friends used to say, you don't want your mother to see it, do not post it, right? Because remember, how many people have you heard that being fired or, deals, business deals have come down the line, the cracks because of materials or information that it was online. So you gotta be very careful. With our kids nowadays, I just like shiver, with some of the things that they share sometimes. I'm thinking that's gonna stay there. It's not going anywhere. So anybody can Google you and find out more than you want about yourself. So be very, very specific and intentional on what you share. Make sure that tone is always the same, professional and positive, right? So you do a lot of motivational also, right? So I'm assuming your post, you're telling them how to overcome situations and how to focus on the good things. And give me an example of what a social media post would be from you.
The post for me is probably going to be around self-awareness. And finding out and understanding exactly who you are so you can be and do what you are.
But at post, you're gonna have a graphic with 3 words, and then you're gonna write copy of no more than 2 and 3 lines. So walk me through that. What would be a post? Let's say we are Mental Health Awareness Month, right?
So a post might say, behave yourself. Like that might be the topic of
The
post,
topic,
right?
that could be inside the graphic, right? A
Inside the
picture,
graphic.
and yes, those 2 words,
Right.
behave yourself.
Yeah, behave
And
yourself.
then the copy would be,
The copy would say, discover, uncover, and unleash your behavioral superpowers.
ooh, that's enticing,
So
yes.
training in itself.
Yes.
Well, that's my tagline, or my thing, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do, so it would have those words. It would have words like behavioral awakening, it would have words like, understanding, it would have those words. And
So if I go to your resume, if I go to your website, if I go to any profile on your social media, would I find the same wording?
Oh, all over the place.
Perfect. That is consistency in your branding. And that's what I wanted to see. Building a network takes time. But if you really think about it, if you're a volunteer in St. Mary's Food Bank, you're gonna be networking there because a lot of the people that donate their time are got what? High executives from corporations, businesses, high leaders in the community. So everywhere you go, even at the grocery store, if you're waiting to pay, there's always opportunity as you're going into an elevator. Finding those areas or those circumstances like the network events that are done here in the BBB or any other business that is your target market, that you know that you need to connect with that, you need to start building. And please, it's not good enough to go and get somebody's business card. If you don't take action, you don't send an email, you don't do follow-ups, you don't do anything that would get the attention of this person. If I'm in a network environment and somebody invited me there, I'm sorry, I better sit down because there we go, right here in the face. So I'm going to be intentional to go and take pictures with the people I want to connect after introducing to highlight the event. I'm going to tag them where? In LinkedIn. And then I'm gonna follow up with an email because I'm getting their email. I'm gonna talk to them about my services and the possibility of collaboration. I'm gonna mention something that Inglés or Español, that stood out for me during the conversation with them during the initial interaction, plus the picture that we took. See how you connect the dots? And I know this is probably one-on-one for connections, but a lot of people are not intentional and they don't follow up. That's the thing. I used to have a sales coach that says that the treasure was in the follow-up, that a lot of people just send emails, but they don't follow up. And the sales or the good relationship building or the good branding of who your product or service will be in the follow-up. So be intentional in creating that network to grow it and to be consistent. If you know when their birthday is, send a little note. Don't you have insurance agents that all of a sudden it's your birthday or Christmas and you're getting cards? I mean, come on. I mean, there's a lot to learn from that process. Be consistent, be present. Choose the right platforms. If I am somebody that I have a makeup studio, well, maybe I'm not gonna be posting on LinkedIn nonstop, although there's a lot of us in LinkedIn that love makeup, right? But I'm gonna choose a different platform, like probably TikTok and Instagram. And those are gonna be my platforms of choice. I'm in every platform. My marketing is done in Facebook and Instagram. Why? Because that's where the target market of the people I serve and I bring my clients to are most of them. So you choose the right platforms for your product or service. Okay, that's very important. Think about the brand that you plan to cultivate. Remember that list that you did of skills, abilities, of traits that you want to convey? You highlighted 3 of them. What is it, the type of brand? Reliable, trustworthy, consistent, the best in the industry, in a way that you can be approachable. Is that a right word? Help me, because my English and Spanish sometimes get crisscross here. So think about how are you wanting to be known for? When somebody talks about you, that you're not present in the room, what do you want them to say about you? Personally and about your brand. That is very important. Okay. Professional networking. How many opportunities have you gotten and you're like, I am so tired. The network events is at 5 p.m. I've been working all day. I'll be home by 8. You decide not to go. And then you see all those postings on social media and you realize the one person you wanted to connect for your business was present. How many times have you guys? I've been guilty of that.
Yeah.
Remember single mom? I used to be, well, my son now it's in college playing football, but I used to be an Uber. So I had to check his calendar before I can make appointments with my clients or for that type of events. And I remember how many times, I had to make the decision, and I made the right decision. It was to go and pick up my son on time after practice instead of, at those network events. But I'm like, oh my God, that was the guy I needed to talk to. Those situations, so be very intentional, and sometimes, keep yourself in the Watusi, as I said, and make sure you showing up, being present. Get out of the comfort zone. Trust me, there are many times I want to just stay in my couch, instead of going someplace and getting all dolled up and be in front of people, but getting yourself out of the comfort zone and pushing yourself to be present, to do that kind of network, be where the professional in your industry is, and the right connections for you will open so many doors.
I think that's really important,
Yes?
you triggered me to think about being consistent, right? I think, I don't know if it has happened to you, but many times I'm very motivated, but then I lose commitment, right?
It's
So.
like going to the gym, right? We want to see
Yes,
the
yes,
results.
that's a
We go
great
once a
example.
week or once a month, and where are my biceps, right? Well, there's the consistency, the same thing in a professional
Yep.
aspect of it. So, become the expert. What makes you different? Well, I've been in the media for 31 years. Nobody can connect and communicate better with my community than myself, because I'm part of that community. Have that authority, highlight. And with that, I'm not saying be arrogant or cocky, but celebrate and highlight what your abilities are and what sets you apart from other competitors. Know your worth. That is so important. And to convey that information also, right? Photos and video sharings, what did I say? If you don't want mama to see it, do not post it, right? And meaning that you have to always behave professional, showcase the professional aspect where you are, and depending on the platforms. Remember, anything on social media, anything virtual stays there one way or the other one. You have to be very professional and think about it. Is this a personal account that I want to keep private and only share pictures of my kids growing up and things like that I don't want my clients or my peers to know? Well, then remember, every single platform gives you the opportunity to limit the access of that, who can see that, who can access any of your materials. Be intentional, be cautious with that. Also, you don't have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for the content you're gonna be doing. Just be creative and educate yourself. That would be my suggestion. I have a lot of clients that they have a small business, and you see their social media, it looks like they're paying somebody professional just by taking 1 or 2 courses for them, the more you invest in yourself as an entrepreneur, the more your business is going to grow. And you're doing it today. You're here in this 1-hour workshop, Grow with Google, learning about professional brand. Keep learning, keep educating. I've been in the media 31 years and I still take a lot of courses. I do not settle because everything is evolving. We have to be reinventing ourselves. Remember what I said about going and volunteering in different organizations? Who go there? Well, that's another network you're going to be doing. You're going to meet different people. You're going to connect with people that can open doors for you or can provide you that kind of opportunities to grow your business in many ways, okay? Be relevant. Write about what you do. I mean, every time you see a posting of me, it's highlighting something I'm doing for a client or highlighting something that I'm doing in the community. And I have to somehow bring value to that. It's not only about the picture and looking good, it's about what are you doing? Remember your why? Yes, in everything you do, you have to do that. Cross promote, what did I tell you guys at the beginning? What do I do for a living? I market products and service through social media. And I said, take a snap, take a video, tag me on social media and I'll repost. That's expanding your brand also, right? That's very important. Manage your privacy online, very important. All the different platforms, even your emails, have the options for you to keep it private, to be careful, to limit the access of the information that you have. Look into all your accounts. Make sure you do a Google yourself, your brand, your name. If there's something that you don't like there, and you didn't post it, talk to the person that posted and say, hey, would you mind taking it off? You know, this is not helping my brand. This is not supporting my purpose. And maybe it's from 10, 15 years, like a wild night or something. I mean, just be consistent and be vigilant on that, right? Search yourself, like I said, Google yourself, and you would be surprised. I'm like, oh my God, who posted a picture? It was definitely not me, especially when you're in public events. Imagine, they usually don't take the right angle, right? But it's very important for you guys to do this exercise when you have time. I know we're limited on time and I can speak like nonstop. So Eduardo, let me know how much we have.
We are good. I think we started about 5 minutes.
Late? Okay.
Over, but I think we can still go 5 minutes after.
Perfect.
So you can kind of wrap us up. And then those that are online, please feel free to ask questions and interact and share on the chat box.
Please do. Yes, definitely. If you need any information, I gave you guys my email there, so I would be more than happy. And all social media platforms, you can reach me to there. Look for an incognito window, navigate and look for yourself. Google yourself there and Google your company too. So you know what people are saying about your company, right? Is there something that you don't have control? Well, like I said, talk to the people that had posted, change the setting to private in some of your accounts if you don't feel comfortable with your colleagues, with your peers, with other businesses that you do business with, seeing that information. Or just remove it at all. Please take a screenshot of this, myaccount.google.com/privacy checkup. I would highly recommend you do this. It'll tell you the type of settings you have, what can you do, some options you can adjust. And for purpose of time, I cannot go through the process, but that is the link to go for it. And you'll be very happy you did this. Everybody got it?
Yes.
Good, okay. So remember that I've been in the media 31 years, so it's a steady process. I have come a long way since that curly long hair Indica that I showed up in the radio 31 years ago to how I have evolved as a journalist, as an entrepreneur, as a community leader, as a mother, as a woman. The same goes for you. You guys are in constant evolution, constant growth, but had the progress to be steady. And what is the word that you're gonna remember tonight from me?
Consistent.
Consistent. Be consistent in what you do. That is very, very important. Make, like you would tell your kids, those of us that are parents, make good choices, you know? I tell my son that he's a freshman in college away from home. I said, I'm not with you 24/7, but remember to always make the right choice, good choices, because one wrong choice, my kids say that they're gonna tattoo in their front. Every action has a consequence because they grew up, listening to that in so many ways. The same for us as we're building our professional brand, we are opening path in our career. Again, we gotta make the right choices and have that consistency. Grow your network. I gave you guys some ideas of how to grow your network, right? Where to go. Mentors. You heard it. I had coaches, I had mentors. They're integral to your growth. Always look for mentorship, and you would be surprised how many people, if you buy them a cup of coffee, sometimes they will not even allow you to pay for the cup of coffee. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I've been blessed. And I've been blessed to have great mentors in my path in the journalism world and also in the business world. So, and spiritual and personal world. I think we need every area of our life that we can all learn from people that have walked the path that we are in, right? Advocates. What did I say? I don't promote my services, but I do get clients a lot. Where? From the people that refer, that experience. How you make people feel is a must. Customer service and steroids you have to offer all the time. Go the extra mile. Provide an experience, not only a product or a service. That's really going to be part of your branding too, when people are advocating or recommending you, okay? Board of directors, big nonprofits, organizations like this one have board of directors. You could have a board of directors. 3, 4 friends from the industry that know what you're doing. Hey, what do you think what I'm doing? Is this right? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any, once in a while, get together for lunch, for dinner, and talk about your goals, your strategy, and see what they have to say. Don't believe that you know everything. Be open, okay? Okay, what's a brand? Who can tell me what's a brand? My goodness, nobody learned anything today. Okay, Ariana, what's a brand? What's your brand? What's your brand? People around you, if I ask about you, what will you tell me about you?
It would be how they felt, how it made them feel.
How you make them feel, what do they have to say about you, how they see you. Remember when we did this with Nike, with Chanel, any other brand that it can come to your mind, definitely. How brand can grow your career? Well, that consistency, the recommendations, the advocacy that you have around you. Define your career story. Remember, tu historia tiene poder. Always tell your story inside of your brand statement. Tell them who you are, why you do what you do. People would buy your product or service. Why you do what you do. Exactly. The why. You have to include your why. Build your online presence. Be very vigilant and be intentional on what you post and be consistent, posting consistently about your work, your product, your service, your success, your challenges and how you overcome them. Tell the story, expand your network, always be open to meeting new people, to getting uncomfortable, being comfortable in different scenarios, different areas, expand your network, okay? Action steps. I'm gonna leave some homework for you guys. You're gonna incorporate your brand into all your materials, whether it's a business card, your resume, your social media, your website, blogs, anything that has your name, your face to it, your logo on this, you're gonna include it. Build your brand online with, what is the word that you guys gonna remember tonight again? Consistency, exactly, and build your network. Those 3 steps will really guarantee the growth of your brand with the recognition and again, the growth of your business, okay? Business marketing, this I love. It's an app that in 5 minutes gives you so many trainings that would really grow your business. So please make sure you download, it's a free app, yourprimer.com. It has all the type of information, education, and not only branding, but also how to run your business in so many ways. I cannot emphasize enough for this. And remember that there's a lot of free skills. If you want to keep learning, don't wait until once a month only with me. You can go to that d.co /apply Dito skills. There are a lot of free video lessons for you. Keep learning. The more you learn as a business owner, the more your business will grow. And I love this since soy de familia numerosa, big family. These are free certificates, school certificates that you can get. Grow.google /certificates. If you don't know anybody that wants to learn about these topics, they can get their certificate from Google, official certificate, and put it into their resume, be able to get better jobs or grow their business also through this learning, okay? And remember, I love to stay connected, so I would love to see you and repost you if you tag me in any platform and let me know how I can be of service. Eduardo, it's been an honor to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity
Thank you.
to serve you guys.
Let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you that are watching online, for those that are watching this recording. Maria, I have to say that I don't know about the rest, and I don't want to speak for you, but I came in thinking I was gonna get like 5 steps on how to make more money, how to build my sales, because that's what it says. Never did I think that I was gonna focus on me. But at the end, it makes sense what you said, right?
Thank
Yes, yes, and
You're the biggest asset your company has.
people will buy from you because of what you do and not for what you sell. And I really like that. And I hope that all of you here and watching us online and those that are watching the recording walk away from how do we do something so ordinary and make it extraordinary? And this is why we partner with Google, and that's why we have subject matter experts like Maria Rábago, who allows us to think the same topic but differently, right? So thank you so much for everyone here. This is the first of a series that we're going to do. It is the first one that we're going to look at other topics. I'm very excited for next year on artificial intelligence. We're gonna offer the same one or maybe a few others in the months to come. So please share this with others. And Mari, muchas gracias. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's give it for a round of applause. Yes. For those online, thank you so much. You can now log off. There will be a follow-up, survey. And thank you so much for coming. This concludes our session.